Hello, welcome to Sound Design Part 2 Basics. So we're going to talk about oscillator shapes and some general rules of thumb and applications for them, just to kind of help you out. So what I've done is I've loaded up Serum here, and I've gone to their analog waveforms and gone to basic shapes. So any analog synth will also have these, hopefully. If not, you have some questions. We're going to go through these and just talk about some like rules of thumb and applications. So we're starting with a sine wave. This is exactly what you think it sounds like. So really pure sounds, not a lot of harmonics. These are the basics for FM too, right? So you can do a lot with sine waves, but in terms of actual application to just using a sound wave, I would say there's a few things. We can have sort of an organ type of patch if we make the attack a little slower. And maybe turn up the release. Okay, so, really a smooth sound if you need this. I use this a lot too for reinforcing bass in orchestras, so I'll have like kind of a faster attack, and you'll want to wear headphones for this because you will not hear it. So if you play your ultra low notes below the double bass, you can use a sine wave to reinforce bass too. Same goes for the triangle wave, although we're going to go to the sawtooth first. Okay, so in terms of orchestration, think of this wave as your brass instrument. And that's what this is used for a lot, is synth brass. So if we kind of make the attack faster and we make the sustain a little bit lower, and then we turn on our filter, and if we add the envelope not just to volume but to our filter, and we will get into this, this is how you make synth brass. And then, we're controlling. The general idea is that think of this as brass, and also all your kind of acid sounds, your really bright sounds. Makes great synth bass if you have it kind of set up with fast envelopes and arpeggiators or what have you. Really aggressive sounds come from here. Okay, next one. This is our triangle. This is the same almost as a sine wave. It just has a little more high end, a little brighter. Give you that Nintendo sound. I use this again more than the sine wave for reinforcing bass. If you play really low notes down below the orchestra, it's going to make the bass sound massive inside of a theater. Okay, square wave. So this is kind of your Nintendo sound. I don't know how much this gets used anymore. I hear it in certain people's music, like progressive house and complextro and, progressive trance. You hear this a lot more in those genres with brighter sounds. It's kind of like a boxy sound, and you can kind of see from the shape that it is a box. It's really bright, and it's more hollow sounding. I hear a lot of people compare the square wave to woodwinds. So if you want to think about that, I suppose with a slower attack, it could substitute as a bassoon if we had it filtered out a little bit more. Pulse width. So this is a pulse. There's two shapes of pulses. We're not going to talk about these so much in context of like this application where it's static. You would use this more in applications with pulse width modulation where this shape is changing over time. One example I can think of is one of the layers in Stranger Things. You definitely hear that, and if we would have to filter this out a little bit. And there's some envelope assigned to the filter, but that's one of the layers in the theme for Stranger Things is a pulse width. A pulse, just a pulse, not a pulse width modulation. And then this last shape that's here, this isn't in every synth. This is the old Roland. It kind of sounds like somewhere between a triangle and a sine and a saw. But that's your Roland shape. You'll see these in Eurorack equipment that has Roland vibes, like the Behringer clones, the actual Roland stuff. I have a Dixie 2 from IntelliGel, and it has this shape because the Dixie 2 is very much modeled after Roland oscillators. So I hope that helps, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll move on.